Lesson 1. This is the first lesson of beginner English, and here we have the blue level, lesson number 1, on the be verb, one of the most important verbs in English, be, in the present tense. Here we have the subject plus the verb. Here we get in the singular form, it is I am, you are, he is, she is, it is. In the plural form, we have we are, you are, they are. Here we have the subject of I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. You is a singular and plural. The verb be changes with the subject to I am is an are. In this case, we have these nice pictures and the use of the verb with the various subject or persons. First person, second person, third person. Here we have I am a teacher. And you see this is a teacher. You are a student. This is the plural form of you. Remember that you is both singular and plural. He is a man. She is a woman. It is an apple. We are people. We is the plural form. We are people. There's one person and another person. You see, we have essentially one plus you equals we. You are students. This is a plural form of you. And finally, we have they are workers. You can see here there's workers. They are workers. The verb be is the most important verb to learn in English and is also the most complicated. In the present tense, it has 3 forms. Am, is, and are. In the past tense, it has 2 forms. Was and were. The verb be is also used to make the passive voice. Here we have lesson number 2, a be in the present tense negative. That's subject plus the be verb plus not. In the first example we have here at the top, I am. Remember, I am was included in the last lesson, but we've added the word not, and not means no in English. I am not. Okay? You are not. He is not. We are not. This is the plural form of I am. You are not. This is the plural form of you are. He is not. She is not. It is not. Remember, in the third person we have he, she, and it. And all of them take the same verb, is. And he, she, and it, a collective word, they, more or less, they are not. Okay, he, she, it, they are not. Now, use in a sentence. I am not a student. You are not a teacher. He is not a woman. She is not a man. It is not a chair. We are not students. You are not a family. They are not students. Here we have the contractions, I am not. You can see that I am is put together, I and M, the A is left out, and a comma is used to indicate a letter is missing. Fine. You are not. You aren't. Okay, here we have the O left out, are not, and we pronounce it you aren't. And here we have the contraction of you are not. Okay, this is another way of saying you're not. You're not. He is not. He isn't. And the contraction, he's not. Okay, what you see here is he is. He is kept, but is not is contracted, put together, and the O is left out, and he isn't. Here we have the contraction of he and is. Here we put he and is together, we leave the I out, we make a contraction, we pronounce it differently too, he's not, okay? Here we have the plural, we are not, we aren't, and they have are and not put together as one word, and we leave the little mark here that to indicate that a letter is missed, and we pronounce it differently. We are not, we aren't. And here we have the contraction of we are, and we say we're not. And now these are commonly used, so it depends on which way you want to say it. You are not, you aren't. You're not. He is not. He isn't. Contraction of is not. He's not. Contraction of he is. She is not. She isn't. She's not. It is not. It isn't. It's not. And here we have they are not, they aren't, they're not. Here I'm presenting quiz number 1, making the verb be negative. This would include both lessons, more or less. So, you have it displayed here. Well, I'm not going to go through each individual one and explain how it is done. This will be displayed in this film, but I would suggest that you stop it, write on a separate piece of paper these numbers and the answers. You can just fill in the blank area so you come back and compare it later. And I will give you the answers in the next part. but there's more to the test. I will now go down now. Now, since the sheet is the way it is, in other words, that you have the total here, you can answer part B and then go to the other side and answer it, or answer it in either frame. And I will now give you the answers, but as a test for yourself, I would fill this in, and then now you can compare the answers. Here you have the answer to those questions. He is not here today. He is singular, of course, and you use is. They are not ready to leave yet. The they indicates that it's a plural, so you'll use a plural verb, and of course, as we know, in a negative sense, we add not. Number 3, it is a singular form, and we have it is not sunny outside. And then we go on, number 4, we are not at work today. We is the plural form of the pronoun. I am not on the phone. Here we have I, which is the first person, singular. I am not on the phone. The students are not in the classroom. Well, students is plural, so we use the plural form of the verb. Remember, not stays the same, but the verb changes according to the person being the subject of the sentence, whether it's singular or plural. My friend John is not in his car. Well, here, since John is singular, we use the verb is. You are not in line. You, in this instance, and remember that you can be the singular or plural, and you in this instance is singular. You are not in line, meaning you. Say the student is not in line, okay? So you are not. These shoes are not on sale. Well, shoes in English is plural, and the verb needs to be plural. Martha is not in the kitchen. Oh, Martha, or Maria, is just one person. She's I, and Maria is not in the kitchen. Now, up here we have verb to be in the negative form, more or less. You have the singular, I am not, you are not, he is not, she is not, it is not. Okay? And then we come up there in the plural form. These are sort of aids for this answering the quiz. We are not, you are not, and they are not, meaning this collective. Then they have the verb be in the negative form, and here they have used the contraction is used, I am not, which is a contraction of I am. You're not, which is a contraction of you are. He's not, which is a contraction of he is. She's not, it is, it's not. These are contractions. We're not, which is a contraction for we are. You're not. They're not. They're not. Okay? I know the sound changes in the contractions, and you need to get used to that. Okay? I will continue on down, and we have the use of the contraction here, and we sort of explained that in the other one. Here we have the chart for the contractions, and here they use the contractions of the verb. Above was the contraction of the pronoun. I am not, you aren't, he isn't, she isn't, it isn't. Okay? This would be a contraction here. I'm not. Okay, that was not entered. I'm not. Here we have the contraction of the plural. We aren't, you aren't, they aren't. And then we put those over here in this quiz, and you can see Sarah isn't. That's singular. Sarah is one person. There aren't many students. We have are not, with the plural are used here because the student is plural. Students is plural. You aren't at the party. You aren't, the contraction of you are not, and this case it is the singular form. He isn't happy. Okay? Isn't used because he is singular. I'm not hungry. This is a contraction I am, and it is a singular form. In other words, he's saying you cannot contract am with not. They cannot be combined. I'm not. The employees, okay, aren't. Employees is plural, so this is a plural form, are not. The sun isn't out. Sun is singular, and you use a singular form, is not. And there isn't a good movie. Well, there's one movie, so you use the singular form, is not. You and I aren't at work today. Okay, you aren't is the plural form for you and I, which more or less is the plural form indicating your plural. You and I are two people, so it is the plural form. And the dog isn't thirsty. There's one dog, and you use the plural, singular form, is not. Okay, that ends our lesson number 1. And I hope everyone has been able to understand everything and that you did well on the exam.